So we should see that we are live. And I don't see that. No, it's preparing to stream. It's setting it up. Boy, it's slow this morning. It's feeling like I feel. There we go. Okay, I think we're good. Meeting's now streaming live. Okay, good morning. So
Good morning.
Zoom is acting up. It's like really slow, and I'm feeling really slow this morning. I've been awake since 4 again. I'm just not sleeping right.
Me too. 4:30.
You too?
Yeah.
Ah, isn't that crazy?
Hmm.
And then so I lay there for the longest time, and it is amazing the thoughts that go through your head between 4 and 6 a.m. Like, holy shit, I'm remembering things when I was 3 years old. I'm remembering things that I forgot to add to a salad last week. Like, what is this junk in my head? Get out. Oh, good morning, Crystal. Crystal just joined us. Good morning.
Good morning, Crystal.
So I think, yeah, Zoom and I are, I don't know, we're in the sort of the same kind of slow-mo zone here. Oh, Crystal can't sleep either. Yeah, and it was a crazy full moon this week. And of course, Crystal, boy, she had her big induction on Monday, big night. Love to hear more about that. Good morning, Cynthia. She just joined us. And
Cool.
so
I can't see anybody yet. Let me just make
oh,
sure I can see everybody. Yeah.
so Susan, you've already, you and I, we were out for our walk this morning, not together, but separate. My little dog was moved.
Now you're the host again.
Okay.
I was starting to talk by myself.
Yeah, I lost it. It was twirling. Okay, Crystal's back. Crystal's here. Good. Okay, you're here. Okay, we're live still. That was weird. So I don't know what's going on with my system. Maybe it's my energy. Anytime anything acts up, though, I say Mercury's in retrograde.
Oh gosh, yeah. You know what I think about that one.
I just blame everything. So how was your walk this morning? You went for a much longer one than I did.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because usually I don't do early morning walks because my appointments usually start, like my meetings start at 7:30, right? So that's the problem when you're working with Europe and Asia.
Yeah.
Thank God I don't deal with Asia. My husband deals with Asia on other business. But anyway, it's funny. I had the funniest thought this morning as I was walking because I was thinking there was nobody around, no one. I think I saw one dog walker, and I thought to myself, wow, like I just so am loving having no person around. And it's not like me. I mean, I'm born with noise. We're 4 kids,
Yeah.
and so I'm born with noise. I'm born with always having somebody right near me. And I'm born in a city. So I was a city kid. I didn't even see country until well in my like 20s and early 30s.
No
And
kidding.
yeah, because of Kevin. But I remember it's funny because I couldn't not have people around me, right? And so it's been, well, 19 years I've been with Kevin now. And now I'm like looking at the trees. I'm thinking, geez, I really starting to think I want to hug one now.
Holy shit, she's a convert.
No, I won't do it quite yet, but I'm contemplating.
Even think it. I love it. Mwah. Kevin's going to be hugging you like crazy today. Oh
Well,
my
not
God.
quite yet. He's only going to hug me when I actually there you go.
What is happening? This is annoying.
But here's the funny thought. So I thought, geez, it just took me back to this one moment in my life where I was in Hong Kong, and there, like the respect of space in Hong Kong, it doesn't exist, right? And so I don't know why that thought just came to me as I was thinking about being isolated with nobody around me and feeling so good about it. And it took me back to that moment in Hong Kong. You are.
Okay, this is not going well. I'm so sorry. So it took you back to that moment in Hong Kong when?
Yes. Yep. It was probably about 7 o'clock in the morning, 6:30 in the morning. And Hong Kong it never shuts down. If you walk around at 5 o'clock in the morning, there are lots of people. But I was in an expat area, right? And I remember standing at the bank machine ATM getting money. Now, I don't know if you're asking, what am I doing up at 7 in the morning?
Getting money.
Standing there, I'm like so embarrassed because, it was the walk of shame. And it was the first moment I thought to myself, this is the one moment I wish there's nobody around.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish no one could see me right now and I could just skulk through the through the
Well,
night to
that's
get home.
1995. Today's 2021, and I finally manifested.
So here you are. Exactly. No one's around. Finally.
And I'm loving it. But that back in 1995, I needed so many people around. But that one moment, the walk
Yeah.
of shame was the moment. And I thought, and now I think back, it's like, what should I be ashamed about? And I was starting to think about
Mm,
why we all care so much about what effing people think.
yeah. Good question of the day. Yeah. It's true because yeah, back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, I mean that was a free-spirited time for many of us. I know I loved it. So it was, it was sex, drugs, and rock and roll. I mean, it was. And then you get out of that phase and you start looking back going, oh my God, like there's so much shame. And you think like, oh my God, it was terrible. But you're right. Who cares? Good morning, Lynn. Good morning, Lori. Lori, happy day, ladies. Yeah, like why do we care so much what other people think?
Yeah. I mean,
Right?
if you're gonna like if I'm thinking back because I was 25 at that time, right? So of course we're gonna do stupid things and it's okay. But if I'm gonna do the walk of shame, which I did, and I did it, so why should I be ashamed of what I did? Right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
it is, that's really what it is. The problem is not what people think. The problem is we are ashamed of what we did.
yeah,
And that's what we need to focus on,
yeah,
not what people are thinking of us. Because the
yeah.
more we think about what people think of us, we're now moving away from what is it that we're struggling with and what we're trying to avoid.
Absolutely. So the shame, from in my case, the shame all comes from conditioning and programming.
Mm.
Told what to do or not to do, as a young lady, or your mother would give you certain, guidance of what you shouldn't do. So you have all these programs and paradigms running in your head, and it creates all this shame because now you've gone against the grain, you've gone against the norms, you've gone against and it's like, no, you shouldn't have done that. But again, though, it's a whole different set of rules for guys versus girls. And I even watched how my mother parented us differently. And it was a very different subset of rules for me compared to him. He was allowed to go off camping when he was 13. I couldn't. Well, because you're a girl. I was expected to do more of the housework because you're a girl. You're to do the dishes, Sherry, because that's girls' work. Like it was shit like that growing up. And so, yeah, they create all these rules. And yeah, it's the walk of shame. But a guy, well, you give him a bunch of notches in his headboard and he's walking around like the peacock, right?
They don't do the walk of shame. They
No,
don't
they
wake up.
don't. They pump up their chest out, oh,
No, they don't do the walk of shame. They don't wake up. So,
they don't wake up. Yeah, they just don't wake up.
but here's the clincher, right? Here's the clincher. Um, be careful what we fear and what we are ashamed about, because we're perpetuating what we create. And I'll give you an example of that one moment where my walk of shame, where I had that moment of shame, right? Are you there? uh,
Oh my goodness. Sorry. So I've opened my door and they're trying to get I don't know if it's the signal coming through.
oh, okay. Well, no problems, because it doesn't pop everybody off. So anyway, the interesting thing is be careful what we fear, right? Because
Right.
that, in
Right.
personal development, everybody talks about be careful what you fear because you're going to create it. And then we try to steer away from even thinking about fear. But I remember that moment, I thought, oh, geez, I'm so ashamed of myself. But then I ignored it, right? And I
Mhm.
just went straight to fake it till you make it, pretend nobody sees. It doesn't work. The shame is there.
The
But anyway,
shame's inside you. Exactly.
I
Exactly.
hate this world of fake it till you make it. You can't. It's in there. So anyway, so that morning I got the money out and my girlfriend lived just down the street. So I went to stay at my girlfriend's house, right? So we just hung out and I fell asleep at her place. Now the problem with that is you're still wearing the same clothes.
Yeah, right.
So that evening, all of us girlfriends were going out for dinner. This is what not to do when you're in your 50s, right? Or maybe you should. I don't know. But I won't. There you are again. It's okay. You keep popping in and out, but I'm still here and everybody's still there.
Good.
So what happened was that evening at 6 o'clock in the morning, a few of us girlfriends were getting together and me in my same outfit. So I went down to the bank machine to get more money.
Oh,
And
the
I was
same old
standing
thing.
there with my girlfriend. Okay, so we were all happy. I forgot about the shame that morning. And I turned around behind me was the guy.
And you're in the same clothes.
I was just finishing off. So as you popped off, I said the moral of the story is just laugh,
Just laugh. Oh my God, yeah. Yeah.
right? And I realized that as I walked by myself in that bliss of being alone, is that I made myself laugh with all these stupid thoughts that popped into my head. And then that got me thinking about all the conversations you and I have, and all we really do is laugh.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you know what? That's the best medicine, right? Like even now with this thing popping in and out, I don't know, something's going on and it's meant to be. I don't know. So you can get upset about it, or I turned my phone off. Thank you. Yeah, Dave's trying to help me out too. Yeah, yeah, the Mercury's in retrograde.
Oh, touche, Dave.
Touche, Dave. Susan says. Thank you. Oh my gosh, yes, you have to laugh. It's so true. Let's, and I love this saying that I use a lot. I'll say, don't take yourself too seriously because no one gets out alive at the end of the day anyway. So,
No.
why do we sweat it so much, right? And we get all up in our heads, and especially, if we haven't cleaned out our shame by the time we hit 50, then like we've got a lot of junk up there, and that eats away at our integrity, at our honesty, because we hold ourselves back, we hold ourselves in, and we don't want to let ourselves out. So how authentic are we being? Right? We're not. And I heard an expression, a really good one this morning, something I was reading, calling us sheeple. So it's sheep and people, mixed together, right? And we're just,
Great.
it is, and we become a bunch of sheeple. So where's the authentic person? Where's the one yelling, going, "Look at me, I'm real. I see my pain. I share my pain. I share my shame." Yeah, we've got to do more of that. So bring it out, girls. Like just scream it out, get it out.
Oh, yeah, laugh. I mean, yes, there's an important lesson to the story, which is, yeah, be careful what you fear. Because if you're
Yeah,
fearing how you're feeling, or if you're fearing the shame that of your action that you took,
right.
like don't beat ourselves up. It is there to learn. So only when we laugh at it can we learn. Like, honestly, I created that. I should not have ignored that shame. I should have said, do I like to be doing the walk of shame or not? Right? Otherwise,
Right.
then it'll just be a walk out the door, not walk of shame. So, how am I
Exactly.
supposed to know that at 25? And if I did know that at 25, it'd be a pretty boring life,
Yeah,
right?
right. Yeah.
But really, don't fake it till you make it unless you have recognized what you are trying to fake out.
Right. Exactly. Key point. Yeah. What are you trying to fake out? Because it can be pretty good strategy to fake it till you make it in some instances, but you've got to know what you're faking. What are you
Yeah.
faking out? Yeah. What are you trying to change?
Yeah,
So,
because my smile and everything could not hide. All the makeup that I had on could not
yeah.
hide the fact that the guy was right behind me. You see? So I could fake it all out with everybody else except the guy behind me. And
Exactly.
and all I thought afterwards, after I'm like, oh my goodness, this is like the worst moment of my life. And after I had to recover from that shame once again, it kept following me. And that's what it does. It keeps following you when you
Yeah.
don't acknowledge what you did is not to be judged. Yes. So you,
Literally and metaphorically. You're
yes.
right. Absolutely. It will follow you and keep eating you up and keep reminding you of your shame until you release it and bless it and say, you know what? I have nothing to be shameful for. I had a great night, enjoyed myself. Can't remember his name, but who cares?
But the interesting thing is, no, I really don't. That's the one very
Yeah,
important one.
yeah, I can
Let's leave
relate.
that. But the good thing is I was grateful thinking back. What I'm grateful for is it happened so quickly, right?
Yeah, right.
Because a lot of us have these drawn out things that we ignore and it just follows us
Yeah,
through years,
years. Yeah, I can relate to that too. Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And I that's why it's like, but I laugh at my girlfriends when I was honest with them, like, oh my God, you guys hide me somehow, please. Like, but it's being honest about it. And then we had such a good laugh. They were laughing, they weren't judging because no one does stupid things like Susan Hum. I mean, if I was known for doing stupid things. So if I go against my brand, well, God forbid, right? So,
It's
but
expected.
but let's laugh.
Yeah, let's laugh. Exactly.
All it
Exactly.
is let's laugh. It's like the lick a loony with me and you. The stupidity that I went through that day. And this was
Yeah,
only a couple of years ago. This is not 20 something years ago.
that's
And I'm
right.
like, how can I keep? And even when I did it for the third time in one day, my husband's like, how do you just keep doing the wrong thing several times in one day? I don't know.
But it worked out, right? There was an
It
answer to everything. Yeah.
because we don't worry
Yeah.
about it. We don't judge ourselves. It's like, okay, so I have to go back to the grocery store for the third time because I forgot a third thing. And my husband's like, write it down. I'm like, I refuse.
No, it's stubborn. Oh my God, stubborn, stubborn streak.
It is.
Lori just mentioned that shame, the shame following, she calls megaphone syndrome.
It
Yeah,
is.
it's so
That's a
true
really
because
great,
it
yeah.
will yell at you. Hello. Yeah, and it doesn't let go, and it eats away our health, mental and physical too. Cynthia was saying.
Well,
Uh,
the interesting thing is Suzanne just wrote the most powerful armor is the armor we shed. And Suzanne is one of these people, one of the very few people I've met without even knowing her, that she didn't have an armor on, right? And it's interesting because people without an armor on are so free to receive. But we
mm,
live in a world where no one is really giving, you know? And I wrote about this not too long ago in a post where it's like, can we just learn how to care about somebody without our own personal agenda tied to it?
right, right, and that one becomes a tricky one because a lot of people, especially say coaches, therapists, they aren't even aware consciously that they have an agenda tied to it. But it's there energetically, and it affects the session, or it will affect the relationship. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, we should never, ever, what should we should never do is take away each other's experience that we need to go through to learn what not to do. You
Right.
know, we're
Right.
so quick to give people advice to not do something when we should spend the time to just listen why they're doing it and why they need to do it so that they can express, so that they can let it go. There is no letting go if there's no expression.
Mm, no,
Then we're
that's right.
just suppressing, right?
Suppressing it, yeah, just bottling it in, pushing it down, and then of course it'll pop up as a disease. Dis-ease will be found in the body when you suppress. Yeah, you can't keep it in there. You gotta get
And
it out.
it was actually my stepson Andrew that taught me that. Like, him being in my life has taught me
Mm,
to not take away his experiences because I have 20 something years more experience than he does. You know, it is the hardest thing to do,
yeah,
but it if you care enough about somebody's life and their life experience, we have to be there as they go through it. And we can give them choices, but it's their choice.
exactly. And that's the hardest thing for most parents. And even just girlfriends, let's say, good friends, partners, life partners, you want the best for the person. So you think that your way is the best way. So it's like, no, go this way. You'll be fine if you just do this or play it safe. Or yeah, you're absolutely right, Susan. The best thing we can do for anybody is to let them just walk their own path and hold their hand along the way.
Exactly. Exactly. I'm going to tell you another funny story because I just had these funny moments yesterday and today, but this morning it just all came up. Yesterday, I had a conversation with a friend of mine whom she's a friend. So I don't usually coach friends or anything like that. So she was asking me to coach her. And I said, listen, I don't feel I'm the right person for you, but and she's like, well, who do you work with? Who's your coach? Because every coach has a coach, right? Well, I'm kind of done with that right now. But anyway, and I said, but she didn't know, right? So, anyways, I said, oh, I said, I do work with somebody. Maybe they can help you. And she's like, they? So I said, yeah, yeah. It's a duo. Like, I work with two coaches, right? And then she's like, "Oh, what's their name? I'm gonna give them a call." And how much do they charge? I said, "Well, I don't know. You're gonna have to ask their mom because their mom's probably gonna charge you maybe about $100 an hour." And she's like, "Your mom?"
Mom. You're talking about your little nephews who are adorable little 6-year-olds. Oh my God.
7.
That's
So anyways, the
crazy.
other day, it made me think about that when I was talking to her, because not like the day before I spoke to her yesterday about, she's I went to see the boys and I was just all over them, but I had
Mm.
to put a timer because I had to come back home because I have meetings. So anyway, and when I was leaving, they ran down the stairs and they said, "Oh, Auntie Sue, when do we come see you in your city home? Because we have a country home." And I'm like, "I don't know, you have to ask mommy or whatever." They say, "Okay, FaceTime me when you get back to tell us that you're back," right? So anyways, when I FaceTimed him when I got home, I was like, "Oh, I just want to cry. I miss you so much," And then Jude, the feeler, he's like, "Are you crying, Auntie Sue?" I said, "Yeah, I just want to cry because I miss you so much." And then he just looked at me like this inquisitively, and he's like, "But Auntie Sue, why do you want to cry?"
Why do you want to cry?
And I'm like, I stopped short
Brilliant
of my
question.
tracks. I'm like, "No, I don't want to cry. I am crying." And then he looked at me and he's like, it's almost like, "Oh, okay, now you're clear." Right? Because
Now you're
I don't
clear.
understand why you said you want to cry. Who wants to cry? So anyway, and then he said, "Well, don't cry." He goes, "Just think of something that makes you happy now." Right? And I
Ah.
said, "Is that really all it takes, Jude? Because you always say that." He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Just think of something that makes you." I said, "Is that what you use?" He goes, "Yeah, but I just take a nap."
Right? There it is. The nap is the cure all.
And then there was nothing more to talk about. And then I
That's
said,
right.
"Yeah, but Jude, let me clarify because I said I want to cry because I'm so happy that I don't know whether I should cry or not." And he's looking at me like,
Okay,
"Now you're
now
not
now that's
making sense. Now
confusing.
you're He goes, and then I could feel him shutting down, right?
Oh,
And that sort of stopped me in my tracks. And I thought to myself, I just complicated it.
yep. Yep. Exactly. Now he's
So
kind of confused. You want to cry because you were sad, but now you want to cry because you're happy. It's like, okay, like what's
no,
going on?
when he said, "I just take a nap," I just complicated it. And so I said, and then finally I stopped myself and I said, "Okay, Jude, I think I'm going to take a nap now."
Yep. Yep. Exactly.
And then he
Yeah.
was happy again.
It's like, now I understand. Yeah. Keep
Yeah,
it simple, right?
it's incredible how like they are my life coaches. So when I told my friend, she didn't know. She's like, "Oh my gosh," she was so excited. She's going to work with somebody I'm working with. Oh yeah, you wait.
Yeah. Two little 6-year-old boys who are adorable. Yeah. Best coaches ever, huh? Yeah.
Wow, seriously, it
Yeah.
just my one layer of complicating a simple concept, which is, well, why do you want
Mhm.
something that you are hurting from?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Why would you bring that on? But don't we do that a lot too, right? In relationships, classic. When we're not honest in a relationship and we're trying to please the other and doing things instead of pleasing ourselves and being honest with what we want. Yeah, and sometimes it's just you just want to go take a nap instead of making dinner. So,
If you're
right?
tired from overthinking and beating yourself up, then stop.
Yeah, then stop.
Right?
Yeah.
It's funny, Marie-Claude Simard said something really interesting. My dad has always was always zen and letting us fail and learn, whereas my mom would often lecture before we
Mm,
did anything. Don't think those lectures worked very much. And it's
yeah.
so true. We live in a world where we're dictated by what everybody's telling us we should do.
Yeah.
That's only because they want to look like the expert. And we need to stand strong in what feels right or wrong. And there is no judgment. A right or wrong is not whether something avoids a mistake or not. That's not the measuring stick. And we have to understand that. It's a feeling.
The feeling, yeah. Yeah, and we've disconnected over time from our feelings. We're all, so many of us are up in the heads because it's all the instruction is in the head, the left brain, do this, don't do that. Instead of moving out of that, moving into the heart and then just saying, okay, so what does it feel like? What does it feel like in my heart? What does it feel like in my gut? Because your body won't ever steer you wrong. It will resonate with something when it feels right. So yeah, it's such an important message to get out of our freaking heads and let go of all those old paradigms and programs and everything that's been running like a loopy loop in the back of our head to keep us small or to keep us victim. Ah, yeah, yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna draft I because I drafted a contract that I for my group, where we have to sign a contract to allow each other the space to express
Mm,
without judgment and without instruction, without advice, and let people express with only one caveat, and that is with the intention to find a solution together.
nice,
Right? It's
nice.
not to wallow in circular
Yeah,
like motion of being a victim and you want to drag everybody down. We're here
yeah.
to elevate one another. So we will give each other the space to express with the intention to find that solution.
To find a solution. Brilliant. And and I think
Yeah.
if every conversation, instead of it feeling confrontational, again, back to the relationship thing, whether it's between, you and a friend, like a, girlfriend, whether it's you and a partner, if we come at it from that space, like, let's find a solution rather than feeling like it's, it's more antagonistic or, um, yeah, like a lot more conversations would be happening and it would open up a lot more dialogue. That's for bloody sure.
Yeah, let's talk about
Yeah, yeah.
creating new ways, creating new patterns, creating new world, rather than the number of conversations I've had over time with people fixated on healing. Like, what a miserable life to sit there and focus on healing all day long.
All the time. Yeah, it's like, how broken and sick am I? Yeah.
We're never going to achieve anything because we're
Yeah,
not meant to be perfect.
that's for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the journey is never done. Never done.
No.
So don't even pretend like you're gonna get to a finish line because there is no finish line. We
You
can
can
just
heal as you create because what you're doing is you're creating and then whatever needs healing is going to pop up. But don't try to look for it. It's
don't
if it's
try.
not there, it's not there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, this went fast. It's already 8:29. Um, I see actually, funny enough, my son I see a pop-up from him showing that Zoom it keeps disconnecting for Windows 10. So there's something going on globally. Kind of like
Uh,
last week, Rogers, their whole system was down for a day. So nobody, it affected Fido and Rogers. So things are happening in the stars. I don't know. We're not
well,
sleeping. Systems are acting up.
I'm in Apple world.
You're in Apple world. Yeah, yeah. There's pros and cons, eh? Yeah, yeah. I almost went Apple when I bought this new PC back in November, but I stuck with PC because I'm used to the Windows. But I don't
Yeah, it's okay. You and Kevin could sit in your PC world of
know.
not changing. He, the amount of technological issues he goes through is hilarious. I'm like, "Well, you can stay in your little PC
Yeah.
all you want." I have nothing against PC. It's just to me, I don't have any issues with Apple. And
That's what I've heard. Yeah. I've known people who've had their Apples for like 12 years without an issue.
yeah,
This went way too fast. So Cynthia, what did she say? Every time you don't look for something and it just happens organically, it's meant to be.
exactly.
Yeah, that's a beautiful way to finish off, Cynthia. I love that. It's true. Synchronicities and serendipities and
Well,
yeah.
Darlene Whitehurst, she said something, and she's the founder of Gold Friends, and she said this year her intention is to live in wonderment. And I think that's
Mm,
a beautiful word because wonderment comes when you are just free. And
it
it's those
sure is.
moments of synchronicity that gives you that wonderment because it's like, wow, I
Wow.
really am cared for by the universe, by me, by whatever it is around me.
I love that word too. You know what image comes up for me is a unicorn. Every
Yeah.
time I hear wonderment, I see a unicorn and it's like, wow, what wonder. And they're out there. It's like my garden. I'll just finish off on this note. My front garden that I created a few years ago. It looks like it would be a lot of maintenance. And so people will stop and, maybe comment and say, wow, it must be a lot of work. And I say, no, because my fairies take care of it. And they look at me like, what? I'm like, no, really, I've got garden fairies and they take care of my garden and keep everything. And I believe, of course, there's fairies in my garden and there's a unicorn in my backyard. Why
Yeah.
not? Right?
Exactly. It's
Yeah,
whatever you want to believe. If that's what's creating your
absolutely.
magic, then it's creating your magic.
Create your magic. So, what a great note to finish off on a Thursday. So, go create magic, everybody. Go and look for your unicorns and filled with wonderment, and allow yourself to be surprised.
And
Yeah.
find a story within your life that makes you
Mm.
laugh.
Yeah.
Right?
Nice.
Laugh.
Laugh, laugh, laugh. Laughter is the best medicine for a reason. It sure is. Gets all those endorphins all happy. So off we go on a happy day.
I tell you.
So
Have a
we're
great
back on
weekend.
Monday, everybody. Take care. Bye.